am feeling digitally connected, man.
Like we need to have an understanding of what can happen, what can't happen, because you have to start with some of your strongest material.
Right. You are going to be one of the people that are going to get left behind. It's that simple. You can do it.
All right. Welcome to the Tech School Podcast, powered by DSDT. I'm Josh.
And I am AI Karlos.
You look pretty darn real to me.
I'm AI Karlos today. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
See the real deal.
I am Mr. Harris.
All right, Mr. Harris. Good day to you.
Absolutely. How are you, sir?
Doing well. I see we are still rooting for our Detroit Lions, no matter what.
Hey,
nice hoodie.
Yeah, right. I got up today and I said, I'm just going to wear this jersey in because they took a head banging yesterday.
Woo! Dang.
And I said, I'm going to support.
Mm-hmm.
One game don't make or break it like that.
Not at all.
So why don't I just go ahead and hop on the bandwagon? I can't lie now. I set to halftime and I couldn't take it anymore.
Well, no. You're a loyal fan.
Absolutely.
A lot more football to be played.
I shed a few tears there right at the end.
Yeah, it was.
I couldn't believe it.
It was tough.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is going on, man? But again, it's just part of the rebuilding process.
Mm-hmm.
We overnight want them to be Super Bowl contenders, and I think we just have to keep everything within perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really going to happen? And if it does happen, then definitely we'll celebrate and tear up the D. But just being honest now, it may not happen this year.
Yeah.
And I will be ready when it does. I'll show up fully engaged and ready to support.
Oh, I mean, the next time we host a playoff game and win a playoff game, oh my.
So we host again, and is it next year?
Well, no, okay. So what's going on right now currently in the season, despite the butt kicking they got against the Baltimore Ravens, we're at 5-2. We're at the top of our division.
Okay.
NFC North. Therefore, as long as we can maintain that number one spot in our division, win our division, we will host a playoff game in Detroit for the first time since 1992, 93.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember what happened in 91 just like it was yesterday.
Oh, when we went to the NFC Championship and played the Redskins?
No, that's the year that I graduated from high school.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. Good.
A lot of great things happened in 91.
Oh, for sure.
That I remember.
Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah, that's when I graduated 10 years ago.
Yeah, so that's kind of what the vibe is right now. Hey, they'll be back at home for Monday Night Football next week. See what they do.
Yeah.
Get back on the winning track.
Still wish them well, and we support.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
We show up to rally around them. So for all intents and purposes, they still are in contention, at least for a playoff berth. Right?
Oh, they're still in contention to win their division.
Okay.
Which includes a playoff berth.
And we haven't been to the playoffs since when?
Since 92, 93.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up.
That's my point.
Back up.
No. Playoffs. Excuse me. Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Oh, we haven't been to the playoffs in about 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yes.
So
but in terms of winning a playoff game, and or hosting a playoff game, it's been since 92, 93.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And I still remember what was going on in 92 and 93.
That year we won our division. I think we got the first round bye.
Yeah.
We played the Cowboys at home, beat the Cowboys, and then we went to play the Redskins and got crushed.
How do you remember all that? Because I don't remember that. But then again, I wasn't a heck of a fan like that either. I remember when I was a kid, I was into the 49ers and the Cowboys. Everybody was 49ers Cowboys,
I really don't understand
that was before your time, probably. I think you about what, an 83 baby?
84
baby.
But I'm very familiar with Montana and Steve.
Right.
Sure,
those were the years. But
Troy Aikman.
After that,
prime time.
Yeah. Prime time in the 80s.
Well, not in the 80s, but in the
more
90s.
More 90s.
I mean, but, he only won one with the 49ers and then won another one the following year with the Cowboys.
Yep.
Coach Prime. right.
Yep. So
prime time.
in 92, I wasn't watching as much sports. By then I was in Buffalo, New York. I'm just saying, just telling the truth, folks.
Lawrence Taylor at the time?
Huh?
Lawrence Taylor?
No, I was in Buffalo, New York. Karlos wanted to be a rap star, and I was working with
Ah.
old Rick James's crew
Oh my goodness.
on Grand Isle. Yeah, that's a story I'll tell you about. You know, and remember now, it was before Rick got into all the
Extracurricular
shenanigans.
activities.
Yeah. That's the era that I remember in the times from 92 and 93. So, all right, what's happening with the Let's Talk statement this
Okay,
week?
so let's talk. Have you heard of Moxi?
I have not heard of Moxi.
Moxi?
Is it like moxicillin? Because I know what moxicillin is.
I don't think it's that kind of.
Okay, I'm just okay. All right.
Okay, Moxi is something that is really gaining traction nationwide.
Why?
And we're talking about it more here in Metro Detroit. The new robot supporting Rochester Regional Health team members. So basically, you have this robot named Moxi.
Okay.
And what it's doing, what is brought in for it to help the nursing staff, to help with just like those assignments, those just part of the job where you're having a lot of medical staff hit fatigue. Bottom line. So Moxi is being brought in to handle a lot of the miscellaneous stuff.
Okay.
It's a backup for the staff.
Yeah. I as I kind of
it's funny. Before we came on, you made a comment, and I want you to elaborate on this a little bit more. You said this is a story within itself.
It is. It absolutely is. So you got to think, as we have a medical assistant program here at DSDT, and the main reason is because a lot of medical systems are in need right now of those individuals.
Yes.
Right. And so this is a way for them to kind of have those positions taken care of. But ultimately, in my mind, what it does, it means that the better that it gets, the more I don't need you. Think about that, right? The better that these systems get, the better that these Moxis and other type of AI influenced robotics get, the more I don't need the individual. So when you hear about AI is taking over and there's going to be jobs that are lost, then this is another way for those who are not wanting to get into the industry right now will see those jobs diminish within record time as opposed to later, right? There right now, I would say out of 10 positions that are open within a certain healthcare provider that we work with, I would say they need like 8 of them yesterday out of the 10. That's how urgent it is for them to get these positions filled. And so if the Band-Aid right now is to replace some of those activities with Moxi, then you got to think the long term. Ultimately, they have a staff of how many of these running through the hospital. And that means that I don't need a human to do it anymore. I go from having 100 individuals who could do it to it then just being 3 who just need to maintain it. Think about it.
But you're still talking about human care.
No, we're not talking about care. And so that's the one thing that the story did hint on, right? They don't provide direct care. They transport. So whether it be for a need for a medication that's down in pharmacy, someone needs to run down and grab that to bring it back to the bedside for the patient, or whether it be something that needs to be run over to a lab somewhere else on the facility, those are things that we could automate to where we don't have staff that's taken away from patient care to do some of those mundane things.
Okay, it just kind of threw me off when you said where it's headed, we won't need you down the line.
Absolutely.
I mean, but what does that look like? We won't need you for what? For surgeries, procedures?
Oh, absolutely. Well,
I mean, that's what you had me wondering about.
Now
like,
that's
I mean,
that's different. We're a little ways from that, you know, but because we're still going to need a lot of human intervention when it comes to that. But we're talking about just some of the low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you think about it. So when you're in a hospital, and I even think to even airports, because we're, you know, you and I, we also do a lot of plane flying around the place, right? And so when you're in the airport, one of the things you often see are the attendants who are pushing these wheelchairs all over the airport. Now, if you guys are like me and you go down to like an Atlanta, right, where you have to get on the tram to go from one side of the airport all the way over to the other nuclear base 14 miles away, you know what I'm saying? And you have someone that's in wheelchair bound or they need some sort of mobile assistance, then you have individual attendants at times that have to push them. But what if those wheelchairs were automated? What if? I don't need those assistants anymore.
I mean, you are hearing about Uber, Lyft,
come on,
autonomous vehicles.
So when I'm in Austin, Texas, frequently, the last time we stayed there, the apartment that we Airbnb'd overlooked the parking structure for cruise vehicles. And cruise vehicles are the same ones that are autonomous, and they run in Austin and I think San Francisco. I'm talking about a whole platform of them. And now mind you, they started out with one. They just started out just one making the rounds. Absolutely. And I would swear that they have to have at least maybe 200 within that facility, right? So if you are talking about hospitals, if you're talking about airports, if you're talking about these institutions where these autonomous vehicles can infiltrate, then it means that somewhere down the line, those jobs are going to be cut. Just it is what it is, So as it stands, specifically for the MA program, there's a lot of opportunity for us as humans to get involved once we get trained to find great job opportunities somewhere. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were telling me that they were a phlebotomist. Now here I am. I'm thinking that the phlebotomist is the low-hanging fruit of the whole medical field. And the person was saying that they made about $28 an hour as a phlebotomist. And I said, what, where, who? $28 an hour? That's pretty good money for just a program of being trained. Like our MA program is roughly about 9.5 months.
Let me throw a question at you and see what you think. All right. One thing you preach is you need to learn the technology now. You need to get on board.
Okay.
With Moxi, for example.
Yeah.
A robot that's brought in to handle the low-hanging fruit to make sure staff don't get fatigued. But at the same time, it's kind of a little bit of the writing on the wall. How can folks in the healthcare system, do you believe, how can they learn this kind of technology? How can they better protect their position going forward when you see a Moxi rolling around in hospitals?
You have to learn the technology, period. I don't care what industry you're in. You have to sit down and begin to master the skill sets of the technology. Moxi. Not necessarily how to operate it, because that's going to be a larger skill set, a more in-depth skill set than what you have time to attribute to it. So I would suggest that you start with some of the more simplistic things, like engaging with a chat GPT. What does it mean to actually prompt these things? Because at the end of the day, that still is what's going to have to happen. Hey, Moxi, could you please pick up blah, blah, blah and take it over to blah, blah, blah?
Learning proper prompting
all day long. You don't need to learn the engineering of it. You don't need to learn how to build Moxi in order for you to be utilized in the careers that are to come. Right? You need to be more infused with AI technology so that the employer finds value in you rather than the person that hasn't.
Wow.
Right? So the more you do that, the more opportunities I truly believe that you'll have, that you don't have to worry about in the near future losing your position, if you will. Right? Because as you begin to start seeing, and so as I say this, I think about a student that we once had. His name is Peter Mentor. And Peter Mentor used to work on I don't know if he was a train conductor or if he just worked on trains. And he said,
we had him on here before?
Peter, probably, yeah. Because
the name sounds familiar.
Peter got he was, I think, our first student. He was the first student who got the Part 107 FAA license for drone technology.
Right on.
All right. So Peter, when he first come to us, I was talking to him. He said that there came a time when he started working on the train 15, 20 years prior, right? He was even, so into it that I think he was one of the foremen for the union that they had. And so he said that As he sat back and watched, they went from a crew of 5 on the train down to 1 on the train.
Mm.
And a lot of the processes were beginning to get automated to the point when there would be none on the train. So he sat back, and as he saw all this unfolding, he said, well, hell, I need to go back to school and up my skill set, because ultimately they're not going to need me here. So when you're in the hospital and you're starting to see little Moxis rolling around your corridors, or you're in the airport and they say that they now want to bring in an autonomous vehicle that's going to do whatever service greeting, remember the writing is beginning to be on the wall.
Yeah.
You should take notice of that, because that career, it's not going to be one of longevity for you, because they're trying to figure out a way to bring down the overhead. And if that means getting rid of you, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So just take notice. At least that's my 2 cents, everybody.
Learn the technique.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And so what is happening with the UK?
All right. So this got my this piqued my interest, because I mean, here in the US, we're talking about AI. How is it going to be regulated? Rules. We need to have rules going forward at some point. With anything else, you need a guideline. All right. So apparently the UK is unveiling its goals to become global in AI regulation.
Yeah.
They're trying to kind of set the tone, if you will. Therefore, it's like, okay, well, what are they doing? All right. So the UK aims to become a global leader in AI governance and regulation, leveraging its notable past in AI and technology. The UK AI Safety Summit, planned for early November, is a step towards in this ambition, intending to spark global discussions on AI safety. So, I mean, pretty much the UK government is going to be coming together in early November to discuss the regulations. I think it's just something we're probably going to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, we definitely have to. A lot of great things came out of the UK. You know, they talk about Alan Turing and some of the things that he did during World War II. Quote me, I think it's 2. And how, you know, some of the advancements that he made was specifically out of the UK. Jeffrey Hinton, call him the godfather of AI. He actually studied at Cambridge, but he lives over in Canada now. So a lot of things, deep mind, you know, the brainiacs behind a lot of the AI technology that we have now, they're out of UK. So their belief is that a lot of the talent that has been poured into the community should also be the thought leaders, as you have it, of the security aspects.
Here's the bottom line for me, Karlos. Who will be the first to lay out a blueprint, to lay out a foundation regarding artificial intelligence?
So I don't know if...
And will other leaders follow?
Everyone is gathering around the water in the hole right now, trying to figure that out, right?
Yeah. But who will be the first?
Just because you're the first doesn't mean that it's correct. It just means that, you know, you have a regulation for those that you govern. Right? Whether it be China, whether it be Iran, or whether it be whatever, you just have some rules and regulations in place for those that you govern. But if I don't like the way you govern, guess what?
Well, here's the thing. On one end, it could become the blueprint. On the other end, it could be more so of a rough draft, where you find out the tweaks on how to create regulation.
Yeah, I guess
it can be the pathway, or it can be the learning curve.
It could be. So, you know, it's kind of like you give me a template, right? You give me the template. I watch how it plays out with you and your people. And if I find that it works X, Y, and Z, then we'll build one around that as well. So I understand that.
Because I feel like back here in the US, we still can't really figure out how to regulate AI.
I don't know if we can't figure out how to regulate it. We have more freedoms built into our Constitution per the government,
true. Yes.
Right, than a lot of other governments. So therefore, how can you regulate it and at the same time not impede the global market or impede the United States marketplace? Because we have a right to not be infringed by the government as well. So it's supposed to be a free operating marketplace. And if that be the case, then the rules and the regulations that can't necessarily hinder us as the people from doing that as well. So regardless of what regulation they come with, everybody's going to claim I'm number one. We're going to be number one. Whoever, I don't care who's number one. Just make sure that the little guy is not snuffed out of the overall equation, right? Because they have just as much of a right to be able to work within the industry to gather whatever they see fit, as does the big guys who are trying to snuff out the little guys.
I dig it.
All right. So,
Dig it.
what about AI and 5G?
G. Yeah. 5G. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long has 5G been out?
I don't know. I'm still trying to get 5Gs today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it grabbed my attention because of last week when you and Amber were talking about your iPhone, was it 13, 15? 15. And how you don't have to go through the old process of re-downloading all of your apps and passwords and all that kind of stuff, but rather just somehow you just connect old phone, new phone, and bing.
Yeah.
Has it really become that simple?
I think that's one of the hidden features of the devices themselves. Now, when you're talking about AI and 5G is the technology that's more akin to us being connected, where it would allow us to have these autonomous vehicles. It allows us to be able to download, I don't know, a 3-hour movie like Avatar in 6 seconds, as opposed to it spending maybe 30 seconds on 4G. Right. It allows more traffic on the web as opposed to what we have today. So, in the beginning, there was a lot of chatter around the harming effects of what 5G potentially would bring, and do we necessarily know? We don't. There's been some studies by the World Health Organization as to what those mean, but none of them necessarily suggest that they are as harmless as some would say. Now, if you remember, I think it was River Rouge, where there was a tower that was built on a playground.
Wyandotte. Yes.
And it was a 5G tower.
Oh, yeah. It was a tower built on one of the elementary schools.
Right. And so there was a huge outcry.
Oh, yeah.
From the parents that, that doesn't need to be there. Those are harmful waves that are coming in, blah, blah, blah. So much so that they actually stopped the project. So I don't necessarily veer towards a lot of the, what ifs. What if we do that? Then this is going to happen. A lot of the harmful hazards. I'm looking at the greater potential in what it will bring if we were to implement these 5G capabilities. We're talking about, we used to dream of having holograms. Everybody would have the ability to talk to someone standing right here on your table, hologram, whatever. That's what 5G allows us to be able to do. We talk about telepresence. When I was last night, I was just in my metaverse. Who needed an update? I haven't been there in a while, because I wanted to
speak about metaverse.
I wanted to check out an app.
Have you been that busy?
I've been super busy. So I go into the metaverse and I got my headset and I'm updating everything. And with all these stories about being telepresent, we're already there. Even though these worlds in the metaverse are somewhat cartoonish, if I can use that word right now, there's still the presence, the sense of presence when you're there. If Josh is all the way on the other side of the world, I was in one experience and there was a guy in and he had to be speaking either Dutch or German. I don't know. I know it was one of them, and I'm sitting in and I'm just listening to him because he's somewhere all the way around the world. So if we're talking about from the standpoint of military in these installments, if you remember last week, we were talking about how, they were building the DARPA was in the process of having what's called the Avatar project. And they wanted to be able to take your mind and have it connect with a machine on the other side of the world. Well, we're there. And 5G technology allows us to even more so be able to do that. So I think that it would be a better thing to have us instill it and utilizing it than the downside of it. Now, of course, we already know there's going to be a lot of bad actors. It is what it is. So much so that one of the programs that I have them developing here at DSDT is a security AI program. Why? Well, it's real simple. There isn't one right now. And how do I know there isn't one? Well, our partner is CompTIA. So a lot of the lessons that we utilize in order to train in technology, your cybersecurity courses, information technology, a lot of that comes from CompTIA. It's already, pre, what's the word I want to use? It's pre. I want to use. I'm gonna say the word what I was thinking. Preordained. I don't know why it's that word, but anyways, we already have these classes that are given to us and that we teach from. And at the same time, they don't have one for security AI as of right now. And we understand that there are a lot of issues that are coming with AI technology that weren't foreseen in the beginning. All the more reason why you have these governments are saying that, we need to come together now and figure out how we're going to regulate this thing from a security standpoint, as opposed to hindering you from being able to build upon it.
It's about getting on the same page.
Yeah. I believe so. Mm-hmm. But the question becomes whether or not we have a consensus that can agree upon what those regulations should be. Because is it going to be only beneficial to the big guys who have the ability to implement it, to be able to build, first of all, to build it, to train it, to implement it, or is it going to be as well for the little guys? Like you have your monopoly laws. Yes. The monopoly laws, I think it's for some reason, the Lanham Act is to protect the little guys from being forced out of the marketplace. So are we going to again have regulations that again protect the little guys as opposed to giving more of a benefit to the larger guys? That to me is probably one of the bigger questions.
Yeah.
All right.
We shall see. We shall see.
Absolutely. Everybody, we're going to bring on Amber at the moment. Amber, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh,
the whole time I was watching you guys with DJ Helluva, my phone was fine. And the second you bring me on, my phone overheated because I had it set up right in the sun.
In the sun. Yeah.
Hold on now. Wait a minute. Oh, stop. Back up. I'm not just going to let that pass. What do you mean in the sun? We're in Detroit. We don't have the sun. That's why we got
it's
these.
Sunny right now.
It is.
Are you out here somewhere in Detroit? Because I know you be jet flying everywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm in Detroit, and the sun is definitely out. It's cold, but the sun is out. The sun is out, so if it shines directly on you or your phone, you will overheat.
That part. All right, so why don't you go ahead and take us into what's happening this week in tech news?
Yeah, so TikTok out of the phone. You might start seeing TikTok out of your phone. What does that even mean? Well, apparently TikTok has been testing using their ads on Redbox kiosks the last few weeks, which I didn't even know that people still did Redbox kiosks, but apparently they do. Yeah. So apparently for the last few weeks, people have been able to see TikTok ads when they go to the Redbox kiosk to rent a movie. But they are now expanding that. So you might start seeing TikTok ads on billboards, on TV, and other places outside of your phone. So even if you're not an active TikTok user, you might still be getting targeted with their advertising out of your phone, out of the app, which is exciting for creators because another opportunity to create, monetize, etc. And I think pretty smart on TikTok's behalf.
Yeah, I like that. Which is, I know we didn't have our follow-up conversation the other day, which is primarily what I wanted to talk to you about, because here at DSDT, we're beginning to build new ad campaigns. And one, we really want to target TikTok and Snapchat ads even more so, because a huge population of our demographics are there. And at the end of the day, they don't operate like your Facebooks and your Googles. So what does that mean in the sense of content creation and being able to get that before the eyes that actually engage with it and use that as a signal to actually enroll or even just submit information to be followed up on? So I'm hugely interested in this expansion. In the beginning, we both were kind of like Redbox. I have to constantly remind myself, everybody is not as device inclined as we are. Some individuals still don't have those mobile devices. They have what I refer to as those Obama phones. And so for them, I have a friend that frequents the red box installments. So if there's an opportunity for me to be able to connect with those individuals in order that I would get them information to connect with my brand, then by all means, I definitely am interested. I know of only one other platform that allows me to be able to advertise on billboards. So if they could build this into the platform and made it easier for me as an advertiser, I'm wholeheartedly with it. So yeah, definitely a good look.
Absolutely a great thing.
Right.
So we've got some news on Threads. Maybe you've noticed, I know we might have touched on this last week too, but Threads are really, really wanting people to get back on the app. So they are now pushing Threads out, not only on Instagram as suggested threads, but also in Facebook. Have either of you noticed scrolling through Facebook, it'll say suggested for you, and you'll see some Threads conversations?
Yes, and it's just nothing really appealing about Threads at the end of the day. It's
I don't have anything really appealing about either it or X, right? I mean, just I don't.
Well, X is just it's too much going on.
Right. 1, 2. Amber is the social media guru. Karlos isn't. Right. I have the 9 to 5 and the 24/7 that I got all these things that I'm operating. And the last thing I need is all these social media platforms. I can't do it. I might have posted on Threads 2 times since I became number 20,754,000.
Yeah, it's just it's really nothing.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming too to have that many different. And I feel like when it gets so overwhelming, people look at it as a chore. And anybody who feels like they need to be relevant on every single platform, they're just posting to post, and it loses. Like, I create because I enjoy creating, but when I feel like I have to create, whatever I create is usually crap, and it doesn't, you know what I mean? Because it's just like I'm being forced. It's not the same. So I feel like when I talk with new clients, I'm always just like, focus, like pick 3 that you feel like, your audience is really on, or it's really, you feel comfortable with. Pick 3, master at least 1 or 2 of those 3, but don't worry about being on every single platform.
Yeah, good information. Now that's good.
I dig it.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice, because I know us old people. I mean, I don't know about Josh, but me, I can't be inundated with all of these platforms to get on. Like next week, there'll be 3 more. And so what? I'm supposed to start divvy up time. That's why we hired Marco, right? We hired Marco because Karlos don't have enough time in the day to be able to get content to different platforms. I think I was listening to Vaynerchuk the other day, and he was talking about by the end of the day, create 16 pieces of content to upload tomorrow. Boy, are you for real?
Who has time?
Real? Huh?
Who has time?
I don't have time.
Gary has a whole team to do that though, and there's like there's a whole strategy, but it took Gary a long time to figure that out and figure out how to do it and actually have a team to do it for him. So thank you, Gary. But tell me something I can do.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So what is happening and with Instagram?
So we did talk last week about this, so we talked about last week how Threads is not, going to be a news app. It's not going to be like X. It's not going to prioritize news. Well, they're taking it even a step further because they're actually limiting some of the words. So if you type in COVID, vaccination, vaccine, anything like that, or anything that has to do with what's currently going on in the news, or anything that could be controversial, like they're not prioritizing those at all. They don't want them coming up in the searches. And it's not that they don't want you to be able to get your news from Threads. They just don't want to prioritize that. And they want to make it kind of like a consumer friendly app where you don't have all of those depressing pieces of news all in your face all the time. So they're going a step further, not just not prioritizing it, but really, and I don't want to say blocking, because technically they're not blocking, but they are really making a conscious effort to keep all of that stuff and just let this be a fun app, something, where you can have fun, you can have fun conversations, but you're not going to get into arguments like you do on TikTok or Facebook.
I don't even know what a fun app means, and I was reading that in an article, right? Here's my problem. That's exactly why X had so many people flee it, was because of censorship. And to me, this seems like another form of censorship. You're telling me that if I'm notorious for posting content about COVID, and I have individuals that want to come there and watch me, Dr. Fauci, so you're telling me that my content is not going to be ranked within the search engine for my followers to come, that you want to come to your platform, right?
Well, it can still be sought out. So if somebody
Mhm.
knows, like if they come there to Threads to find Karlos and Karlos talking about COVID, they can find you and follow you. But no, your content, you're not going to be exposed, or people aren't going to be able to find you by exploring, because they want to kind of minimize that. So maybe Threads isn't the app for you. Like I try to do more research on this to understand like where they're going with this, and other than just them wanting this to be more of a fun kind of laid back experience and not such a depressing experience, like I couldn't really find a strategic reason as to what anything that makes sense, because I think you're right, like you said, it's kind of a form of
it feels like a
blocking
social media chore.
censorship.
Yeah. I don't want to put Threads in the same conversation as X, because at least Threads is not charging. Like yet. Well, at least yet. So but let's just stay in the current.
Right.
All right. So they're not charging, but I just feel like there's just something Threads is missing to really grab us.
Yeah. Me.
It's
just like it's missing us. Like we're not there.
It's missing some kind of flair that's just going to attract users.
It just feels like a knockoff.
It feels bland. It feels
like a knockoff.
Yeah,
like a bland version.
Yeah.
Because they pushed it out and they're like, we'll figure out the kinks later. We'll perfect it later. So whatever the thing is going to be, they have yet to even develop yet. Because you're right, every platform has like their thing. Threads doesn't have a thing because it just kind of copied X and then tried to integrate with Facebook and Instagram, but it doesn't have a thing. And TikTok has its thing, the videos, and then Instagram tried to do the reels, but it still has its thing. Thread has no things. It has no thing yet. So maybe once it gets a thing, like that will change things. But right now, like it doesn't even use hashtags, which I'm not mad at, but it's just like one of the features that people really enjoy about TikTok is like the algorithm and being able to find and explore things that are really relevant to them. And Threads, just if you're censoring what we can find, there's really no appeal. I don't want to see the same thing that I see. Mind you, I'm already on Facebook with most of these people. I'm already on Instagram with most of these people. I don't want to see the same thing they posting on Instagram and Facebook on Threads.
I agree.
Show me something
new. That's right. It just seems like it's just a run of the mill, same old. This is the same thing we just got away from over on X. So what do you have to offer for the consumption of my time? And I just don't get it. So yet to be determined. Amber, we appreciate you again this week. I know this is like your off day. And we definitely appreciate you taking out time to do it on a Tuesday.
Yes.
Right. I'm learning to be like Josh with Fox 2 News over there. But
don't date it.
Don't date it, right? But are you out for the week? Are you going off flying somewhere?
No, I've just been like heavy in work mode. I have like a lot of work happening. So I've been trying to block my time and schedule my time and do, you know what I mean? Just focused right now.
Oh, there go that word. I like that word. Focus. Just focus. Don't be distracted. Well, thank you, Amber. And again, anybody wanted to follow you with all your millions and millions of TikTok followers, where would they know? They might not even be able to search you on. I just thought about this. They can't even search you on Threads then.
They can search me. I'm not controversial. I don't think.
just get real. Get real with AB. And if they want to look for you on Threads, hopefully they'll be able to find you and you're not next to COVID. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hope not.
Amber, we appreciate you once again, and we will see you next week, okay?
Thank you.
Amber Boone, everybody. We are going to have an in-depth conversation with my friend.
All right.
I've been wanting to bring him on for a while, and I've known him for a longer time.
Yeah.
And I remember, as I was saying to you about how we were going to do this, I said that, there's no one that I know who knows more about hip hop than DJ Helluva.
And he is also connected with a very popular night spot in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Right.
The Blind Pig.
Well, I don't know if it's the Blind Pig. I know he used to be at Millennium. I don't know about the Blind Pig. So we're going to have to ask him about all that.
Break it all down again. Brother, he is well familiar with hip hop.
One of the largest or the biggest questions that I get about him is, oh, Helluva? I'm like, yeah, not that Helluva. Not that Helluva.
Yeah.
So before Helluva from Detroit, right, and the groups that he's worked with here in the city was DJ Helluva.
Yeah.
DJ Helluva is the first. It's like I think about the original Human Beatbox, Dougie. Then you have the Human Beatbox from the Fat Boys. Which one was the original? What Dougie Fresh said he was the original. Or maybe we can have Helluva elaborate on that or not, because I don't know everything. But I'm telling you that hands down, out of the 50 years of hip hop, this man knows more about it than I promise you some of the greats that you probably listen to. So why don't we go ahead and bring DJ Helluva in and let him enlighten us all. DJ Helluva, everybody.
What up, Bill?
What up, Bill? Good day to you.
You too, my brother.
Yes, sir. Sorry, DJ Helluva. Let's start this conversation by breaking down exactly who you are locally in the hip-hop industry and talk about what you've done over the past few decades.
Well, to start off, so there's no confusion, there's a producer in Detroit named Helluva. My name is DJ Helluva. I've been DJ Helluva since high school. I don't know that cat's age, but I've been in Detroit doing stuff off and on in the past with Geno Washington and people like also Art Forrester and also stuff with a cat named Proof, which everybody knows. So I've been around for a minute, but that guy's a producer and I'm a DJ, and we don't know each other, but he do some things, I do my thing.
All right.
Also, as you see in the background, I do produce also, but I go under the name of Big Dog when I produce, the Beat Freaker.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Big Dog. All right, so when did Big Dog come about?
A while back. Because I wanted to separate, me DJing when I produce, but as like, I just call myself Helluva, DJ Helluva, but then when I want to get into actual true production, I want to separate that from what I do as a DJ.
Okay. All right.
Because when me and you were doing stuff, y'all just called me Helluva because I was your DJ / producer.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What do you mean? You and me? You talking about you and Josh?
No.
He just met me.
Huh?
AI Los. And since Los don't want to admit, AI Los to me was doing stuff like that.
Don't throw me in this.
He said AI Los.
You're lucky I ain't got my old hard drive. I'll play some of it.
I'm glad you don't have your old hard drives in. I'm glad those things have been outdated.
I don't have access to it at this moment, but I can pull them up in the future.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Anyways, we appreciate your service to your country.
Yeah. All right, so DJ Helluva, give me a better foundation of the work you've done over the years in hip hop, whether it be locally here in Metro Detroit or in other parts of the country.
Started off DJing basically. That term, actually, you take it back. Started off beatboxing, then DJing. That from DJing turned to production around high school times. After high school, I joined a clique where there's a female named Cree Money. We had a manager named D Dog, and we had like other artists that was down with our clique. But we performed and went around, opened up for like Ice Cube, Ghetto Boys, and people like that in the Michigan area. He hopped on tours. We went in like even people like Detroit Most Wanted, Breed, Public Enemy. It's like what else? Lilo New School, Son of Berserk. Just a lot of people. Jazzy Jack from the Fresh Prince. That was one. That was something. I'll never forget that one. But I've been doing that for a while. Then after high school and then in between time, I started doing production around the area for local groups around the area and still DJing.
So going back to the 70s, when hip hop really got going, how do you think it has evolved over the past 50 years?
Thinking about how it started with just basically break beats. You take somebody's little 30-second spot in the song and you extend it. people dance over it or rap over it, to the point of bands came into a certain point in time with like Grandmaster Flash and them. Then we get Marley Marl and Run DMC, where it actually goes back to the essence of it with break beats and production or creation of your own music. So it's evolved because it started with break beats and it turned down to an industry of billions of dollars of musical equipment that was created by the individuals who created hip hop, mixing boards and drum machines and samplers. There's certain people who are all a part of the creation of that, from like Marley Marl, which people don't really understand the reality of what he was to us. He figured out how to shrink up to certain spots in songs for a snare or a kick or a hi-hat out of anybody's song and create his own drum patterns instead of taking a break beat and getting sued or having to pay money. So he pretty much created the drum machine slash sampler, all the things we are using now. And now you go and create your own melodies and tweaking the beat and tones and all that. So that, to me, without that, the industry wouldn't be what it is right now. You wouldn't have all the stuff I got in the back, all the things we use in the music industry, from techno production to R&B production. A lot of that stuff, hip hop pretty much brought into the forefront by the guys that created stuff. Like Grandmaster Flash created basically the crossfader back and forth mixer by rewiring stuff and rigging things together to create those technologies that are now standard in hip hop.
Who's most influential for you?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
That's like it's more than one person.
Okay, give me your top three.
Top three: Marley Marl.
Okay.
DJ Dr. Dre. Well, I'm gonna give four: Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, and Jazzy Jeff.
Okay.
Actually, I gotta make it five. Mixed
you
master.
Make a top five. Top five.
Mixed master artists, because that's the reason why I DJ.
Mm-hmm. All right, so break down the top five for me one more time.
Marley Marl, DJ Premier, Dr. Dre, Jazzy Jeff, and who did I say? Forgot that quick.
Say Marley.
Melly Mel.
No, I didn't say Melly Mel. Marley Marl.
Yeah.
Well, Jazzy Jeff is DJing, so production, like I'm saying, is Dre, Premier, Marley Marl. I forgot, but those I just keep it the four. Those are the basic, definite ones that what I do in production, why I do what I do, how I sound the way I sound when I do it.
And I'm asking you to give me your top three, top five, whatever the case may be. Anything similar within all of those artists to where they've influenced you over the years? Like, is there a little something each of them have that may be similar that applies to your style, your approach?
With Dre, it's the clarity of the actual sounds. I don't really like I can do boom bap and I can take the gritty sounds, but I still got to have something that's layered over it that has some nice crispness to it. And also with Dre is, if I do sample something, I want to have something played over it to really layer over it and give it more of a richer sound. That's the Dre. With Premier, it's the way I chop up samples. The way he does it is amazing. So I've been trying to copy that for the longest. Just flipping ways and finding ways to make a sample sound something so different, or take a little spot you'll never know where I got it from and layer with something else and with something else and make a whole new project. Jazzy Jeff with DJing, just the preciseness of his cuts. That's his best way, but he's so precise with it. And I've always wanted to mimic that actual style of how he DJs.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a question I'm sure you've gotten time.
Real quick. I got to
go for it. Yeah.
And with Marley Marl, it is the taking of this and that snippet and that actual sound and making my own drum patterns, my own loops, and my own drum kits. That's basically with Marley, just making my own sound and my own sound in general.
Got it. Okay. Here's a question, brother. I'm sure you've gotten time and time again. And if it's similar to what we've all have heard, so be it. Biggie and Pac.
Oh no, boo!
No argument. I'll tell you like this. Pac is not as clever with his lyrics as Biggie was, but Pac will make you feel it. Pac is creative and he draws from his actual true life. Biggie is clever, witty, and that flow. He has a definite flow you can't deny.
Cadence.
Yeah.
A hell of a cadence. in this flow. A hell of a cadence.
Do not allow my confidence to offend your insecurity.
My homie right there.
Well, I mean, Coach Prime.
This
Coach
is,
Prime.
this is. Okay, so do you buy into this whole argument that we've heard time and time again that Tupac and Biggie, if not Tupac alone, were the greatest rappers of all time?
As of right now, and what we have from this point in time, I would say, yeah, they're the top two. It depends on which one you
What? Think. Are you serious?
Impact, flow, creativity. We could speak on Tupac and his work ethic, all the stuff he's given us. He's spitting lyrics, and also the things he's talked about, we're going through right now. We can go back and repeat a lot of things he said, talking and rapping, and we're going through it right now. So we got hold up. We got money for the wars, but we can't feed the babies. Come on, all the money we're giving over right now, all this money being given out right now, all this homelessness we got going on. Nah, we could speak on everything they talking about. It's still going on right now.
So you believe that of all time, your opinion is that Tupac and Biggie were 1 and 2 when it comes to hip hop and rapping?
All right, I'll say it like this: in my lifetime, from what I've been listening to, the people that's impacted me, me personally, I'm saying Pac.
Okay,
I'm straight with Pac, not just as a fan of his straight music, but his actual writing. Listening to his interviews, like it's like a long interview he did when he was 17 years old. At 17 years old, it's like an entry, like a video for a school he's going to over Marin City. It's an entry level video speaking on him so they can get to see who that child is. Saying things right now is relevant to this day, and speaking on how our world society is, thinking about it back then. A lot of us are just now saying, yeah, this is going on. He's been speaking about that, but a lot of folks listen to his music and think he's just rapping, just talking, not understanding his background from his mother, the people around him. So he looks at stuff in a different light than we do, not just the gangster stuff. He actually speaks on societal issues and how we each other treat each other. And it just, I get into what he's saying. And think about the impact he had on the culture of hip hop. Right now, out of anybody that's rapping, no matter what they say, they got something to buy.
Let's not even talk about what they said right now.
No, we'll get to that in a moment. Okay. Here's something else, DJ Helluva, I want to add to the points you're making. These brothers were lost at 24 and 25 years old. And the fact they had that level of intelligence, that level of philosophy, fruition, looking into what was ahead. I mean, how many 24, 25-year-olds you see walking around here today who can hit that level the way Tupac and Biggie did?
Like but if you look at it from that standpoint, what about your Martin Luther Kings? What about your Malcolm X's? What about all of those before them that were just as pivotal in whatever the movement was?
For sure.
Around those age points.
Okay,
I think we all
show me a 24, 25-year-old right now
that's doing any of that.
Because what do we have? Sexy Red.
Hey, hold on.
If you don't stop
let me give you an example. Literally 2 days ago, I did a party for a 13-year-old girl, 13 years old. I have a whole playlist ready of the clean edit of everything out. I spent too much time doing that for no reason. I played one song when she walked in to see the girls act up. After the song ended, the whole crew of females approached me and asked me, why am I playing the clean version? They got pissed. I asked them to give me a list of what they want to hear. Up top, it says non-clean, and then the list went down. So, no, these kids aren't trying. And then Sexy Red is one of the songs, the girl they wanted to hear all night. And there's some stuff I never heard from her. I was like, I can't play this no more. I didn't feel right playing this music. No matter, I used to listen to Luke. Listen to Sexy Red, I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I feel dirty playing it for these little kids. I don't feel right. It don't make sense. But they know every lyric. They know when it is. And the parents was like, "Hey, you can play what you want." I'm like, have y'all been listening?
Man, no.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, DJ.
It's bad out there, man.
So for our community who don't necessarily know who Sexy Red is, Sexy Red is the young lady that's kind of banging the charts right now. And I actually was having that conversation this morning with Jamie, because of one of her songs and the lyrics that are in it. And I'm like, is this what has happened to rap? Helluva? To your point.
Let's look at Sexy Red compared to the other females. Even Little Kim had women going, oh, but Little Kim still had.
We didn't have an appreciation for Little Kim at the time. Yeah, I believe.
What do you mean we didn't have appreciation for her?
But we didn't feel the way we do about these songs that this young lady's making. She wasn't like, it was certain people out of hip hop was like, she's kind of raunchy. But Little Kim was flowing. She had other songs that actually had lyrics and bars to it that had some substance, something.
Bars.
This right here, I try my best to figure it out, but I can't. I don't like hearing it. Brother. And I like grown music. I'm not saying it's gotta be PG, but it's gotta have some kind of creativity and some cleverness to it. Just don't throw it in my face and walk away.
I mean, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, heck, you can even salute Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this Sexy Red, I just don't. I don't. Yes.
Rhapsody. So I'm just saying.
The Brats.
Yeah. There's just so many. Eve, all the females in the past, when they came out, if I liked them or not, they did have some lyrical ability. It wasn't just out there flipping and showing stuff. They wasn't just talking about their private parts. They was rapping about something.
So let me ask you this then, Helluva, from an artist standpoint, right? So DJing within itself is an artistry, right? Mm-hmm. Can we agree that at least I can respect her artistry? I may not agree with the content, but I can respect her as an artist.
Oh yeah, no matter if I like it or not, I'm not going to say she shouldn't be out. That's her ability. If people want to buy it,
buying it, listening to it.
She could be out selling something else, not music. So I'm not going to go that far and say, but I personally don't mess with it.
Yeah, I get it. I agree 1,000%. It may not be for me, but it doesn't mean that somewhere somebody doesn't want to hear that content and it doesn't represent who they are.
And if you don't request it, I'm not going to play the best way to put it.
I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby. Mm-hmm. Sexy Red, Ski Wee.
What are you talking about?
Hey, I mean, that's just
let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Yeah. Sexy Red's first song against Pac's first song. So you gotta go Pound Town against Brenda Got a Baby. That makes it worse.
And is her song Ski Wee? That's what it called?
That's the second one. Yeah, her second.
Okay.
So if you haven't heard Pound Town, you're gonna be like, whoa, okay, never mind.
But just again, going back to the Pac and Biggie and what made them so impactful and why they reign supreme at the top of the list is because, again, 24, 25, hitting on what they hit on at that young of an age is iconic.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I feel like I'm in a class for hip hop right now where DJ Helluva is the professor. I just keep it 1,000, right? And so my statement to that, or my counter to that, is okay. I live through the area as well. I think Helluva, what are you like, 51, 52?
52.
Okay, and so I'm 50. So I'm the same age as hip hop, right? And
those two brothers would have been you
right around with me, 24, 25-ish.
Yeah.
And so when they were doing the height of their thing, of course, like every other person that was living the hip hop lifestyle, like I used to want to be a rapper, right? Like so many of us that came out of those certain areas of our neighborhood. And I spent a lot of time developing my craft. To me, Biggie and Tupac, they were not as influential to me as they were to others. So when I hear DJ Helluva say, they the greatest rappers of all time, 1 and 2, rapping was my bread and my butter. I went to sleep with the pad and pencil. I'm talking about before everything was on the iPhone. My favorite rappers of all time, for me, my opinion.
Yes.
And I don't put them in no certain order. Redman.
Okay.
I knew that was the first one.
Okay.
Redman.
Okay.
Eminem.
Okay.
And Mystical. Those are my 3 favorites of all time.
You can't knock that. You can't knock that.
And the reason why is because each one of them within their delivery, they always said something that made you like, hold on, stop. Let me rewind that tape. I never got that from a Pac or from a Biggie. Now, I knew that they were talented, right? I knew that they had the gimmicks, right? They came out, whether it was, Pac being the thug and, wanted to portray that style, or whether it was Biggie and Junior Mafia. And, I got that from them. But when we talking about lyrics and bars, I'm talking about, to this day, Redman, I follow him on Instagram, and the brother has never let me down with some of the things that he said. There is a dark side. One of those albums that made you go back. Here we go.
Now, if we're talking about lyricists, and we just straight lyricists, no other conversation about it.
Straight bars.
We can talk about other MCs then. Because when you talk about my favorite MCs, it's not just about the lyrical skill.
Okay.
But if we're just talking about lyrics, there's other MCs that's just about lyrics. Some folks don't even really mess with. And I can name a lot of those that will whip Jay-Z and Jay-Z, Biggie, and Pac, and just straight lyrics. Okay. So we can have that discussion too, and it'd be other lyric people you probably won't, but you probably won't speak on them to you.
Okay, so if we were strictly lyrics, because to me that's the greatest rapper of all time, but strictly lyrics, who would you say would be your greatest lyricist?
Joel Ortiz.
You better not tell me Kendrick Lamar. If you do.
Joel Ortiz.
Who?
Joel Ortiz.
Joel Ortiz. Who is that?
Part of Slaughterhouse.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Black Thought.
Okay.
You said okay.
Okay. It depends on what you want to listen to, right? It depends on your favorite.
It depends on also what you've heard, because I go listen to their freestyles, not just their albums. And there's a Funkmaster Flex freestyle, a freestyle on Swaying. It just, but then his album. So all right, then we got Scarface.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. And Scarface was always one of the contenders with your greatest of all times, your Tupacs and your Biggies, So you got to give credit to him. I saw an interview not too long ago with Ice Cube, and he was addressing the greatest rapper of all time. And I kind of sensed some hater in his voice, because this whole thing was, how can you say that Pac is the greatest or was the greatest of all time when it took him and a whole crew to go against Biggie, Junior Mafia with that hit 'em up? Let me finish.
Go ahead.
And his whole claim to fame was, I dismantled a whole organization just by myself.
But with Vaseline?
Vaseline. When he went up against NWA,
he did.
Eric Wright. That's his thing. He sees himself as being bigger and better than a Tupac. So what do you say to that, DJ Helluva?
I have to correct you on that, because I saw where that started from. It started from a Tony Yayo interview when he was arguing, saying that Biggie was a better storyteller than Ice Cube. So when Ice Cube was asked about stuff and those names were mentioned, he was talking about disc records. He wasn't talking about MCing. He said he had a better disc record. He went against the whole crew while Pac had help.
Okay,
that's what that was about.
Yeah.
But I saw that interview.
Yeah, I don't know. Still though, that was one of the coldest disc records of our life.
Well, hold on. I feel Cube on that, and Hit 'Em Up is my song, but let's keep it real.
Single-handedly,
I got myself going against the crew.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, and then you got me and my boys going against that guy.
Yeah,
a little different.
Yeah,
and we talk about every verse. He pegged all of them. He hit all of them. Pac was around with everybody. His verse, he had one verse sticking on Biggie. He was talking about Mobb Deep, Nas, Jay-Z. Then he also talked about Biggie. So as for diss tracks, looking at the totality of it, that No Vaseline was a cold piece.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question. Back in the present. Different era. I want to make it clear. Different era. Where do you rank Drake, DJ Helluva? Give me your thoughts on Drake.
This is the problem with Drake. They give Drake a lot of prop for his record sales, but if they just go for his hip hop, Drake can spit. And I put Drake at maybe number 5 out of MCs, but that's not including the other stuff he got. Out of what's out right now, not overall time. Out of what's out right now, I give Drake number 5.
Okay.
You say what is out right now?
Yeah.
So
you got Cole, you got Kendrick, you got other artists that I think is better than Drake. But Drake ain't no slouch. Don't get it wrong.
Yeah.
But he also was put into a category that's not fair because he is not just hip hop. He doesn't just rap. A lot of his numbers and some of his songs are charted as hip hop songs. Hotline Bling's not a rap song, but it's number one rap song. So his numbers are kind of inflated on the rap side of it. As an overall artist, he killing them.
Okay, is this a fair analogy? Kind of like a modern day Prince. Modern.
Well, nah, because I mean, when you say Prince,
no. I'm more so stressing modern day, where you have an artist who hits on a little bit of every genre.
You're talking about just his artistry?
Yes, exactly. Okay, that's what I'm stressing. That's what I'm stressing.
Prince makes all these.
No. I'm not stressing Prince. Literally. I'm stressing modern day. Okay, I'm stressing range.
I'll put him in the Michael Jackson. He got more flair pop side than really actual that because Prince was the music. Prince was the music. You don't have to go see Prince live. You listen to his albums. You good, but he's good live. But Prince is the music. With Michael, you got to add that stage show with it. That star rock star aspect to it. So I give him more the Michael Jackson aspect. He's popular, he's famous, and he's talented, but there's also extra stuff go along with it.
Okay. Fair.
Well, I guess the one conversation that we haven't had is, what do you think about the music industry, whether it be the artistry, the producing, or whatever, as it relates to artificial intelligence? What do you think's happening now with the career that you feel so madly in love with, some of us as consumers of what's happening? What do you think is taking place within the industry now? Should we all stay tuned, or should we kind of be tuning out and only go for a lot of that human created products, if you will? What say you?
I say definitely stay in tune to what's going on. I'm not gonna discredit music that comes out through the AI process. I just want to make sure that I just hope that when people do it, they have integrity with it. They're not stealing, lying, and cheating to get over. They're actually putting creativity in it, not just trying to copy. Because you can use AI to create off your own creation. You can use AI to even get inspiration out of other people's stuff, but to straight just steal the way people can lyrically is the main thing. Copying straight music, not actually improvising or creating things off of it. So I'm 50-50 on it. I feel it needs to have some regulations to it, definitely regulations if possible, which I don't know how they can really be. But I take it back, as nowadays they got ways of knowing if you're playing music for a second on Facebook, so they should be able to find a way if you're stealing stuff through AI.
Right.
You can't broadcast on Facebook without being bleeped for a second.
Hasn't that always been a part of the hip hop culture though? Because I can remember songs back in the day, Bite It, right? They were talking about people stealing their music.
But that's to me with hip hop. If we don't give credit for it, I got a problem with it. AI, you're not trying to get credit for it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they're using AI. They don't want nobody to know what's going on. Because like, if I'm not a rapper, but I can go grab somebody's old tape that I used to produce, grab their lyrics, and I can go put them out. For real.
Sound like are you haven't been thinking about this, have you? I'm just asking because I might need to come get my masters, DJ Helluva. I'm just saying.
You come get them now.
You said you sound like Puffy. You sound like Puffy giving everybody their masters away now. They're not worth anything.
Oh man, why you bring that up? Oh my God. Why you do that? Don't get me wrong, just for this conversation, he's a con artist.
Oh,
come on. All the money that was milked out of those, and now you want to give it back now?
Hold on, I gotta make a station identification right now. Some of the opinions of the guests are not those of DSDT. I'm just saying.
Plead. Okay.
Like I said, for the conversation of the publishing, that's con artist move. Saying I'm giving it back, and I'm telling everybody, like, the public doesn't know that means nothing.
Right.
He has a new album coming out, and he's about to face possibly indictment. So he's trying to clean his image up. He's trying to make things look a different way. And then indictment, he knew about the indictment for a while because everybody been whispering about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, Helluva, you know, man, just having this conversation with you today, I think that we ought to, and we've just started around the STT, having these 1, 2, 3 day boot camps. And I would love to hook up with you at some point and maybe offer something along the lines of hip hop culture or a deep dive into hip hop. Because as I've stated earlier, I don't know anyone outside of you who knows more about hip hop. I mean, me personally. Now, I know with the era of social media, we get an opportunity to see a lot of those that we connect with on social media, right? But personally, I know no one that knows more about the whole culture than you do. So I would love to possibly have a conversation as to how we might be able to offer, even if it's just a 1 day class, workshop, or whatever around that. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
Yeah, because you got to know when you're in the presence of teachers, right? Professors, right?
Oh, yeah.
Teach me something I don't know.
Respect
you,
the wisdom.
right? And you better be able to explain why you thought Tupac and Biggie were the best. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
And like I said, what's going on right now? Like who do you think's the best out of what's going on
right now?
Well, right now you got J. Cole, you got Kendrick Lamar, you got.
I was saying Biggie and Pac. Who do you say?
Back then, I already gave you my 3. Nowadays, I like some of the new artists. I like the Babies, Lil Baby. I like Young Dolph when he was doing. I like Moneybag Yo. I like a lot of those artists because they take me back to when I was young and I was listening to a Suave House. You know, I was listening to the Dungeon Family. You know, that was like literally my eras. I love music. I love hip hop. I love the lyricists, the artists within it. I love whether it be those that do the tagging. I love those that, you know, build the fashion around the culture. I just love every aspect of it. So I just think that, you know, it's kind of an opinion more or less as to who you think the greatest was. You know, I love Lil Wayne. I love Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Nah.
I was never a huge Nas fan. I never was.
But we know he won that battle.
You know what's so funny about
Listen to him. You hear what he said?
DJ Helluva.
Check it out. When Nas came out at halftime, my mind wasn't wrapped around that. I wasn't into that. I didn't like Nas when he first came out. That first album, I didn't like it. As time went on, I say, what was the album? The one that got bootlegged, and then he flipped it around. I Am. Or either I Am or it was written, but the album that got bootlegged, I got hold to the Lost tapes and a lot of stuff that was on that album that should have been on the album. And then I got to listen to more now. So as my brain elevated by what he was speaking on, I started liking what he was talking about more. Because when he first came out, I was in the streets, so I wasn't worrying about what he was talking about. He was about going back to Africa. I don't know. Nah. But as I evolved mentally, I started seeing more of what he was kicking it with. So when I talk about Nas, I don't dog him out because I know I wasn't ready for what he was talking about. And it wasn't about, his artistry, you know what I'm saying? It was about what he was saying. So I never felt he was a bad rapper. I just wasn't into it.
I just wasn't into it then, and I'm still not into it now, right? It's just certain artists, depending on what they're saying.
The guy's an album. I think I can. Right. You gotta like that. Come on.
Like and love, two different things. You know, there's artists, there's a lot of artists that I like I say. But it's just a matter of whether or not that's your taste. Yeah. Look, Helluva, I appreciate you taking out this time in order to come on. I've been trying to make this happen all season, as it being the 50th for hip hop. And again, if we can kind of hammer out how we could do like a 1 day or whatever the case may be, workshop for you to come in and kind of do a teaching on this, I think that would be beneficial to our community. So definitely want to have a follow-up conversation with you. And if there's one thing you wanted to close on, as this is your time, what would that be, my friend?
Hip hop, you don't stop.
Hip hop, you don't stop. Everybody, yours and my true friend. Been knowing this guy for a long time, and I love him. DJ Helluva, everybody.
Love you too, partner.
Thank you, DJ Helluva.
All right. Hip hop, you don't stop.
Hip hop, you don't stop.
Okay.
Hey, man, I just had that inclination when we were having that conversation that I should have him come and do a segment on hip hop. Again, I think that is very much needed. I think that it's a huge draw to the art itself, and he could bring a lot of value as we're trying to educate our community even more.
Absolutely. And also incorporate the conversation of AI.
Absolutely. Yep. We
It all
already
makes
know.
sense.
We don't even need DJ Helluva no more. We making a whole song with AI, right? All right. So we want to kind of round everything up right now with the Why DSDT segment, and this is going to be coming to us from Miss Dharma Walker. We asked Miss Dharma, why DSDT, and this is what she was so gracious to give us. Why DSDT?
Hi, I'm Dharma Walker, and this is my why DSDT. Okay, the reasons why I love DST is because I learned so much here. We get our own personal school email. I learned software such as how to utilize Adobe, how to utilize the DAW Reaper, different terminologies, the equations, and the filmmaking industry, different angles and shots, and how you can talk through the adjustment of the cameras and different things of that nature. It is very enlightening, and I'm meeting people that have their own clothing line, writing books. I'm just happy to be a part of such an organization that stands out and has history, and this is my why DSDT.
Nice.
Beautiful. I love to be able to say that this week's YDSDT student is going to receive a new car. Everybody gets a car. Right? Yeah, but thankfully, I am even more appreciative of the fact that, they chose DSDT. For all intents and purposes. It's a question that I have always asked myself as I come to be in this place. Why DSDT? Why DSDT? I think everyone who has an organization and it offers whatever service or product, at some point you have to ask yourself, why me? Why us? Why what we have? And once you figure that out and you can connect with your customer more so than the competition, that's when you begin to grow. So I thank Ms. Walker for all intents and purposes for allowing us to be blessed with her YDSDT. All right, Josh. I don't know about you, but it's been another one of the day.
Yeah, it's been a busy day, man. Time to get home. Well, I have to jump on my AI prompt class in a few hours. So
there it is then. All right, Josh, take it home.
Back at work tomorrow morning. So busy one. But hey, good episode, Karlos. Back at it next week for the season finale, my understanding. Yeah, so season finale of season 8 here at the Tech School Podcast, powered by DSDT. We'll see you next week. But in the meantime, see ya.